if you have been struggling with managing your hormones and building a positive relationship with your body, and perhaps you're working lots of hours and you have a fast-paced career, but you're wanting to make some forever changes, today's video is going to be super insightful. I am joined by the lovely Meera, who works with us inside the Fit Queen program. And this lady I wanted to talk to today because she is going through her own journey. And she reached out to us in relation to having some support around her hormones, but she also works a fast-paced career as well. And we are here to debunk the dieting myths. And I wanted to talk to Meera about the journey she's been on so far and the self-development she's going through, because there is a way of going from feeling stuck and not seeing your body change to actually feeling like you are getting somewhere and feeling a sense of freedom around your body. So this is what this session is absolutely about. Short 7 minutes to have a good old chin wag between me and Meera to bring you some support and value today. So Meera, when you connected with us, what were your biggest struggles? What was your biggest pains day to day for reaching out to us? What was the reason really?
I'd reached out to you, I think at the end of lockdown, and I think that might have been a really difficult time for a lot of people, where it was difficult to get out and about, adjusting to a new way of working. I work from home, but have kind of a role in HR. So not being able to be so mobile, but also having not the best relationship with food either. So maybe depending more on takeaways more so than usual. So I think it was kind of a culmination of the end of lockdown and feeling like this wasn't the best version of myself that I was. Maybe I wasn't feeling so confident in the way that my body looked and also how I felt mentally. So I really wanted to be able to make a change alongside the fact that I was also I am getting married later this year. So there was a goal and a motivation for me there as well. But I think mainly just wanting to feel more confident from lots of kind of habits that had come about from the end of lockdown.
Yeah, okay, absolutely. And was there anything that you felt you were massively stuck around? Because like the hormones piece for you, obviously, you know, is huge. And before reaching out to us, you know, did you feel that you had the right support in place in regards to understanding how your body works?
Not at all. And I think that's what's been probably one of the greatest parts of the program, is really trying to understand my hormones and body better, and just being kinder to myself through education. So I think it has been really difficult before, because you read so many things online, and you can get quite overwhelmed with what hormones mean, and they're always so subjective to different people. And so I think what has been great for me being on the program is that it's a very personal journey, and it's about making sure that I am succeeding through this, because somebody else's hormonal issue might be very different to mine.
Absolutely. Okay, so at the beginning, obviously feeling stuck post-lockdown, you know, wanting to make a forever change, wanting to be able to have that support and understanding your body. I love the fact that you've just touched on education as well, because understanding how your body works really starts to build out the sustainability piece, you know, so you're not reliant on us forever, you know, so you can fly the nest and you know exactly what you're doing and how your body works. So, okay, into today's world, you go to work and so forth, and there's lots of diet things flying around online, and you know, weight loss can sometimes be a bit of a swear word as such, and there's lots of sort of diet programs and things like that. What's your opinion on the diet industry? Tell me about it.
Actually, I hadn't tried so many things before joining the program, and that was probably down to feeling quite nervous. And one thing I have really taken away and learned is that we're not always looking at weight loss or the number on the scale. And if one week there isn't a drop in number, that's completely okay, because we might be building muscle mass, or we might have had just a really bad week with hormones or with things that are happening in our life. So I think what I have learned is it's not always about dieting or trying to bring down weight loss. It's about having a healthy relationship with food. It's about having a healthy relationship with yourself and your mind, which has completely transformed the way I look at food, lifestyle, exercise. And it's also made me probably a nicer person to be around, because all these other things are kind of slotting into place. So I think diet, you mentioned that kind of diet culture and lots of things that we see online, they just have a lot of emphasis on bringing down weight loss very quickly. And I think that can happen, but I think it's important that that happens in a healthy way.
Absolutely. I always say, it really doesn't matter, how your body visually changes. If you haven't done the internal work, then you're never going to enjoy what you see in the mirror. And that's the priority of feeling at one and at peace with your body. And that's a whole full body transformation. So, okay, so if we've got a lovely listener today that's, wanting to make some changes, but feeling really stuck and nervous, because you shared that, and I can completely understand that, so perhaps someone's feeling quite nervous. Is there anything you can pinpoint over the last couple of months, Meera, that you have done with your coach Jamie, that you feel has been really valuable for you, that perhaps someone listening to this could implement themselves?
Yeah, I have, Jamie's given me so many recommendations on books to read and podcasts to listen to. And actually, that's been one of my biggest takeaways, is actually in my own time, I am reading up on the better ways to manage my mental health, better ways to be successful, not just personally, but in my career as well. So she's allowed me to not only look at kind of my diet and my exercise regime, but actually be the best version of myself. And that's what she's really allowed me to do. So I think it's been invaluable.
Okay, super. So picking, resources to be able to digest in your own time. And, we all have to take huge responsibility for controlling the content that we do consume. So I want to pair that with, yes, having some great literature to read, podcasts to listen to, but also taking that responsibility to go through your newsfeed and remove anything that isn't necessarily serving you or representing, positive change for you. Cleansing, I think, on social media is so valuable. Absolutely. Is there anything that you would like to share with, say, we've got a listener that perhaps is really struggling right now? Is there any bit of wisdom or advice that you'd love to share with them today?
I think just taking that kind of first step was probably the most difficult. And I would probably say the beginning of the journey was quite difficult, because it was breaking habits outside of the regular routine I had around food, and starting to learn to be more mobile. So I would actually say the first couple of months were quite tough, but breaking out of that cycle, you genuinely feel like a really different person. And to kind of feel really happy waking up in the mornings, and to feel like you got a really good sleep because you're not so fatigued from hormonal imbalances, is such a nice feeling. So I would say just be brave. Don't be nervous, because it can be quite a nerve-wracking experience to talk to someone about your weight and what you don't feel confident about, but it's only temporary.
Yeah, absolutely. And yes, there is always roadblocks in the journey, but by taking a step forward, you're inevitably stepping through into new change and a new identity piece as well. I think it's just always so important to make sure that you are having the right support and you are treated like a unique person. It's very easy to slip into the one size fits all type of support that is all over socials and things like that. But you touched on this early, we are all so uniquely different from a hormonal standpoint, our past history, things like that all you're so important when it comes to building a toolkit that's really going to work for you. Absolutely. But I guess the biggest piece I took from that, Meera, is if you're unhappy, make a change.
Absolutely, because it's worth it. It really is. And if you're not feeling quite confident about the way that you are looking or feeling at the moment, that can change.
Love that. Okay, we are going to finish up on that because that is such a golden piece of advice. And, you know, coming from Meera, that is going through her journey at the moment and going through that self-discovery phase. So I'm so glad you decided to, you know, absorb the nerves and take that step forward, because it's amazing that you're finding a new path, and that's so great to see. And thank you for joining me today to be able to share some insight on this subject and breaking through the dieting culture and actually supporting women with, you know, great advice and support. So thank you so much, Meera.